Good morning, children. Sarah. So, today we are going to continue again with the leftover portions of the poem, that is, Where the Mind is Without Fear by Rabindranath Tagore. I would like to introduce you to Rabindranath Tagore once again. Like, who was Rabindranath Tagore? He was a Bengali poet, musician, and artist who reshaped the Bengali literature as well as music. And the most famous thing about it is that he was known as the Bard of Bengal. That is, meaning is Lion of Bengal. Okay, children. Now, getting back to the text. Children, when we talk about freedom, freedom is the biggest bliss, or you can say blessing, that one can enjoy. The basic thing of freedom is that life finds new dimensions with freedom. In this poem, the author prays to God that his country as well as his countrymen should enjoy freedom, and they shall not be deprived of any of the rights to their freedom. Okay. He imagines and he prays for a country where things are congenial as well as very comfortable, or you can say the people live with harmony and peace. Each and every citizen of a country, of that country, should enjoy brotherhood, respect, love, and affection for each other. Getting to the text. Where the mind is without fear and the head is held high. In the previous class also I told you the head is held high. Which figure of speech? It's alliteration. It is alliteration. Where knowledge is free, that is, where knowledge is free doesn't means that knowledge is you can say easy to get. It is something that each and every person guides each and every one without any what you can say, without any discomfort. That is, if suppose you are guiding someone, the other person doesn't feel bad or disrespected, fine. Where the world has not been broken up into fragments, that is, where the world is not broken up, has not been broken up into fragments. Fragments means, you can say, segregate pieces, different parts, different pieces divided into a number of pieces. Okay, so why the author is saying that the world should be united, the country, the place where he is living, he says that there should be a place, a country where people should live in a unitary form, not in a divided form, by narrow domestic walls. That is, it should not be. Furthermore, he says it should not be divided by narrow domestic walls. Now, what are narrow domestic walls? Walls is okay, but what is narrow domestic walls? Can anyone tell? Which figure of speech is here? First of all, the figure of speech used over here is metaphor, and when the author says by narrow domestic walls, it means, you can say, mean mentality. Okay, you can say a dominated kind of mental criteria which are not positive, and broad-mindedness is not reflected anywhere. Where words come out of the depth of truth, that is, when words, what is the meaning of words over here? It means that the people, when they talk, when they speak, it should be honesty reflected in their attitude. That is, the people should speak true. They should be honest enough to put forward their feelings, their expressions, without any kind of, you can say, what do you can say, any kind of wrong or ill feelings mixed with it, or you can say any kind of biased feeling, any kind of biasment on caste, class, gender, caste, in sex, religion. It should not be there. It is that the people should feel commonship, that is common brotherhood and mutual respect for each other as well as each other's thoughts and expressions. Now, where tireless striving stretches in arms towards perfection. Again, which figure of speech, children? Where tireless striving stretches its arm towards perfection. Striving stretches, again it is alliteration. It is alliteration. It's not metaphor. Many of you say metaphor or simile. It's not metaphor. It is alliteration. Striving S and stretches S. Okay. Now getting back. Where tireless striving stretches its arm towards perfection, where the clear stream of reason has not lost its way. What is the meaning of tireless striving stretches? To continue, the meaning is already given. Let's have the meaning of the book. What the author says. To continue, to try very hard to do something. Striving means struggling. Okay, and stretching means to extend. Tireless without getting tired. Fine. So here over the author, that is Rabindranath Tagore, he says that what should be the attitude of the citizen of the countryman of his country, of the author's country. His means the author's country. What should be their attitude? That is, they should work hard, they should be laborious, they should be hardworking, and they should be very sincere in their effort, in putting their efforts towards any work. Fine. They should not lag behind just because that they are not hardworking or they are not ready to struggle more. They should not give up if they are not able to succeed for the first time. They should be able to succeed. They should have that criteria to put their best efforts and put their best foot forward, despite of the fact whether they succeed or they do not succeed. Next line. Where the clear stream of reason has not lost its way. Sorry, I fumbled. A clear cause of an event or situation for an explanation. I repeat, a clear cause of an event or situation for an explanation. That is, when and how. When, how, and what happened. It should have a clear explanation and clarification without any amalgamation, or you can say any mixture of wrong, despised and disguised thoughts. It should be crystal clear, it should be transparent, nothing should be, you can say, translucent, nothing should be hid, and nothing should be behind the reasons. That is what it appears shall not be different than what it is indeed. Okay. Into the dreary desert sorry, into the dreary desert sand of dead habit, where the mind is led forward by thee. I repeat, into the dreary desert sand of dead habit, where the mind is led forward by thee. By thee, THEE. What is the meaning of this word, children? You all might be knowing it's EU. Okay. And again, which figure of speech in this line? Into the dreary desert, it is alliteration. Dreary D and desert D. It's alliteration. Now, what is dreary and desert sand of dead habit? Boring on unhappy, lacking in cultural or intellectual interest. That is, the poet says that the people of his country All his countrymen should not lack any kind of interest in the cultural habits. What does this word means? Cultural habits or the intellectual interest. That is, they should not lag behind. Uh, they should not feel what you can say discomforted or unprivileged or not feeling enterprised in catering to the cultural heritage as well as traditions of the country. Where the mind is led forward by you into ever widening thought and action, into that heaven of freedom, my Father, let my country awake. That is, he says, ever widening thought, continuous thought that lasts forever. That is, the continuous thought process should be prevalent. It should not vanish. For if it is once inculcated, it should stay there forever. It should not be as if it is here today, but it is not again seen or experienced after a span of time. In the end, he says that into that heaven of freedom, my Father, let my country awake. That is, he prays for his countrymen that they should raise the country with their keen interest, a zeal to raise spirits, not those spirits, spirit of enthusiasm, spirit of willingness to work hard, spirit of mutual respect towards each other's thoughts and efforts. Fine. I hope you've got this poem clear enough. Thank you and Sata.